tattooed. Bet I see you from the top, yeah, real soon. Looking down on the haters that I've been through. Told them I'll see you later, yeah, big truth. I keep a real good pace. Built a big house, damn, look at that place. Up in my mind, cause that's my space. House so big, full of positive things. And I can't be shook, cause I ain't no rook, man, I wrote the book.
Hey, this gets me every time I hear that. I like to welcome everybody to the Monsters of the Gridiron podcast. You know, this is the week we all been waiting on. Walt, how you doing today, my brother?
I'm doing good, man. It's a bit of a lonely Sunday with no Bears, but it's game week, so let's go.
Yes, indeed. It's game week. Will Wright, how's everything going with you down there in Texas?
Well, everything is going great, baby. I'm ready to catch this flight out Saturday, head to D.C. Hopefully, Jaden Daniels is ready because I don't want to see Caleb versus Marcus Mariota.
Hey, I'm with you when you're right now. I am with you when you're right. I tell you what, this was a bye week for the Bears this week. And so actually I was just a little antsy because I was ready for the week to come. You know, I know you guys were probably sitting on your hands trying to wait for this game. And I actually had an opportunity to watch the Commanders play because I wanted to see what we were getting ourselves into and all the hype that's going around with the Commanders. But then I also saw that Jaden Daniels got injured, so we're not sure if he's going to play. Well, how you think that's going to affect the Chicago Bears play call?
You know what? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure, to be 100% with you, because it's definitely going to make a shift. Because you know they gotta contain Jaden Daniels. He can definitely run. Marcus Mariota really isn't that same kind of scrambling quarterback. So,
right.
But I don't see the Bears having a whole lot of trouble containing that guy.
Right, and honestly, now that you say that, I don't even see them having a whole lot of problems containing Jaden Daniels because if one thing you got to realize, if your ribs are injured, you're going to be very, very, very cautious of how you run. You're going to take those slides now. You're not going to try to get those extra yards because one thing about it, you need those ribs to breathe. And if you're going to be running around for all these amount of time with pads and everything on you, you're going to have to make sure that you're at your healthiest. And honestly, you see the odds that shift too. They literally had the Commanders as a 1.5 point favorites, but ever since today, you know, they shifted over. Now they got the Bears as a 2.5 favorite. What you think about that, Walt?
Yeah, if I was a betting man, I never bet against my Bears.
Yeah.
You know, the big thing was, the Commanders are banking on Jaden Daniels, and I think everybody else was too. You know, that offense has been explosive out of the gate. We can't deny that, right? We can't. But now that Daniels is gone, we're going to see if it's really the quarterback or the system now. So it's going to be really interesting to watch from our perspective too. Yeah,
it definitely is. And for one of the things that during the bye week, this was an opportunity for the Bears to get healthy, right? Mm-hmm. So we some of those players who've been dinged up, like Zach Pickens and a couple of these other players who haven't played, hopefully they're able to find themselves on the football field, you know, and contribute to this defense and some of the offensive players as well. But is there any particular player you're most anxious to look for to see, okay, I want to see this guy actually play and contribute to this team?
You know what, man? I really want to see Tyreek come back in and just, go to town. I love watching his game. So just not having him on the field, it's kind of a bummer for me.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those edgy cornerbacks. You know what I mean? And so for me, like, I think I want to see what Pickens is actually going to do in this defense. You know, we haven't seen him play really this year. And so hopefully he's healthy enough to play this week because I want to see if he's going to have that same type of season now that Dexter is having. Dexter's playing quite well. You know, they both got drafted the same year. And so this will be an opportunity to him to showcase what he can do as well.
Yeah, it was really interesting watching both those two guys come out in the draft because depending on where you were and looking at the defensive tackles, either one was ahead of each other in any way, shape, or form, you know. And I was kind of glad that we got both. I wanted both personally, and I got my wish that night. So yeah, I can't complain there.
Maybe the draft guys I was hearing you when you was praying. But man, like I said, like the bye week, you know, coming off, honestly, you guys saw that I was in London, and coming off of that win in London and rolling into the bye week, it felt like I've been cheated a little bit because I wanted more, right?
Yeah.
And for us to go, Will is actually going to DC, and I'm going to be there as well. I'm going to be out there at the game, so I'm excited. Walt, we was hoping that you can come out and check us out, man, but we all going to have an opportunity to go and check out one of these games. But Will and I will be representing the Monsters of the Gridirons. I'm going to have my favorite shirt because I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to let everybody in. Ever since I started wearing that orange Monsters of the Gridiron shirt when the Bears were playing, we have won 3 in a row. So that's my lucky shirt. I wore that shirt in London underneath my jersey, and we won. I won it the week before. So, hey, 3 in a row already. So we shall see.
Yeah, man. I'm not really a superstitious guy, but I mean, when we're running a 3-game win streak, you just got to keep doing whatever you're doing until it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, and I'm not really a superstitious guy either, but I was like, man, this got to be this Monsters of the Gridiron's orange shirt that we got. So I wore it 3 times, and I'll tell you, I look, I got this feeling, man. I get a feeling like every time before the game, but I got this feeling that the Bears are actually going to win this game in epic form.
Yeah, I mean, it probably more so if Jaden Daniels doesn't play, really, because with Washington, the one thing you really got to look at, and we'll take a look at this in a second, is the offense there. Their offense has been really, really good. Mm-hmm. Their defense, not so much.
Right.
It's kind of bottom tier in the entire league. And more so the pass rush. But, I do have some stats we'll bring up here in a moment. But I just want to give a shout out to everyone in the chat. We got King Buka World joining us. Mikey's here.
Oh,
Plank, the whole gang. Blue Dragon. Jay Grizz showed up. Nice to see you tonight, man. Where's Eric Harper? I know my boy's here somewhere.
Yeah, we love y'all, brothers. Y'all love all y'all, man, for supporting and checking us out.
Oh, man, Cliff is here tonight, too. It's going to be a party now.
Oh, man. There go the neighborhood. But you know what? Before you show the stats, a lot of people haven't talked about this, but this is the return home game for Montez Sweat.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a return game for Montez Sweat, and it's a homecoming for Caleb Williams. So
that's right. And I mentioned that last week. And so, he's going to have his family and friends that's going to be there. But Montez Sweat I think that he really wants to stick it to the Commanders because he said, okay, I'm going to show you why you shouldn't have just got rid of me that quick.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely has a chip on his shoulder. So it's going to be really nice to see. And, that Bears pass rush unit has been really good through certain aspects. I'm just going to throw it up here on the screen. You're going to see this is the Commanders one, sorry. From 2023 to 2024. Now, forego the grand totals you see on yards per game and things like that. This is over a full season versus the first 6 games. But take a look at just the blitz percentage. You can see the effect that Eric Washington's having on the team. You're up a full 5% over last year. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it is a significant upgrade. Before, our pressures per game are up 30 to 33%. That's a full percentage. Now we still got to get better there. I'm disappointed in that.
Yeah.
I was expecting something of a bigger jump, but a jump nonetheless. Right.
Yeah. And so in the 2024, we already gotten 18 sacks.
Exactly. 18 sacks.
Yeah. That's not bad.
Yep. You've already got half of what you did last year in a third of the season. So I really can't ask for a whole lot more. I love the sack percentage going up to 8 and a third versus the 4%. You're doubling that there. So because we're going to go into a little bit of the trade rumors later on to end the show.
Yeah.
And both from our team and coming in. But I can't really I can't complain. I think the defense has definitely stepped up. And they're going to go into Washington, I think, with ready to go. So here's actually the 2 pass rush defense between both ourselves and the Commanders, and you can see it's pretty close. It's wild because I thought it would be a little more a bit of a differential, but not really.
Yeah.
And they're blitzing a little more than us. They're blitzing another 4% more than us, but their pressure rate's almost exactly the same. Basically, 1% is insignificant at this point.
Right.
So they're a little faster off the line, but we're faster actually making pressure happen.
And I'll put money on our secondary anytime before I put it on there. So.
And that's the thing too. If you have a really good secondary like we do, and you're quick to actually pressure the quarterback,
Yeah.
you know, that's the perfect storm right there. I do want
That's
to
why
see
that's why I want to see what Pickens is going to do. I want to see what he's going to contribute. And I know he really wants to get out there because you're looking at somebody who got drafted with the same year you did, and he's having a heck of a season. So I know he's anxious to get out there.
No, definitely. I mean, I want to see Pickens really, jump in because we had some conversations off camera. I was talking with Doug Van Dorn. I don't think you've met him. He's usually on BCP. He comes in here sometimes. Great guy. We were discussing the need at defensive tackle versus the need at defensive edge.
Yeah.
And he's more of a defensive tackle guy. And if Pickens does come in, Pickens does ball out,
that solves your problem right there.
That solves
and you got
right
him
there.
cheap too because he's on a rookie deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So you're going to have guys like who's it? Cowart there. He's been doing all right.
Yeah.
The backups in terms of your defensive line have been really good. Darrell Taylor has been a nice surprise.
Yeah.
I think most people just didn't really think too much of him coming over from Seattle. He's only worth a 6th-round pick. I mean, that's the best 6th-round pick you could spend right there. I think he's giving you roughly a pressure every 7.5 snaps. That's on par with Max Crosby now. Max Crosby, I think, is like 7.46, and Taylor's like 7.62 when you do the math. But just really interesting. Really interesting to see.
Yeah. I'm excited, man. I think that we're gonna come to Washington not intimidated or nervous at any time. I think we coming in there saying, okay, we're gonna have to continuously win because everyone in our division is winning. And so there's really no room for error. But I wouldn't be surprised. We talked about this before, but I wouldn't be surprised if every team in our division actually goes to the playoffs.
That's a distinct possibility because I think they showed the playoffs lineup the other day, and I think every team in the NFC North is in the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
Like what were we season? We were the 7th seed, I think, right now against number 2.
I think it's a 6th seed.
It's a 6th seed now. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. When I saw it, it was the 7th seed going against the Commanders, which would have been pretty interesting, honestly.
Yeah, we do need a road win. I see Jigsaw said the Bears need a road win, and we definitely need a road win because if we can get that road win, that actually and that's an NFC win. So that's what we need. That's what we're gonna need as well. So
yeah, because the Bears are doing extremely good at home right now.
Yeah,
but our only losses are on the road, and they were early too.
Yeah,
but I think that it's a different team than the beginning of the year, a completely different team. I know Caleb came out and said today after the loss, I think it was the Colts, right? Where they had a whole bunch of meetings with Shane Waldron and the rest of the offensive staff.
Right.
And I think, he's putting his own stamp on the Waldron system. And that's something we didn't hear last year, Whether it happened or didn't happen, I can't say, but I know it is happening now.
I think they're giving him, even as a rookie, they're giving him the freedom to kind of ad lib a little as well, like he did at USC. But he's also interacting a lot with the wide receivers as well, because those are the people that you're gonna have to ad lib with. Those are the ones that are gonna save your hiney when you're scrambling, and you've already worked on a drill for the last 3 weeks, and you know that if this happens, you need to do this, and I need to do that. So.
No, exactly. And I think that's the whole about building continuity and building a rapport. Like you said, and it's only going to get better as time goes on. So
yeah, and I do like that quote that Clips talked about when the Bears need to stay. If we can stay healthy, which we quote unquote, I'm really hoping not jinxing it, but we've been fairly decent at staying healthy. And you see, like this thing, for instance, the wide receivers from Tampa, both of them are out, gone.
I know.
And look at Kansas City, and they just signed D Hop today. So
yeah, they traded the 5th round, the conditional pick for D Hop. So
why wouldn't you? He can get his career revitalized under Pat Mahomes. Quite honestly.
No, I mean I think it was a great trade for Kansas City.
Yeah,
I'm not knocking on. I'm glad he's going to a place where he's going to get used. I feel kind of this year he was.
I know he's happy he's out of there. I can promise you on that.
Yeah. Tennessee was funny. I figured they'd actually be doing a lot better than they are.
Yeah.
Given their defense, their offense is just terrible.
Yeah.
Right now. I mean, I think that's more a Will Levis problem than anything else, but that's that's for another day.
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, I mean, what do you think of the Commanders as a whole? Like, is there any one player that stands out to you in terms of someone on either the offense, defense, or both that the Bears really need to watch out for? I mean, I understand Jaden Daniels, of course,
right.
But
well, I'll tell you what. I looked at their running game. They pride themselves on their run game. So both of their running backs that they have with Eckler and Robinson, I think those are players that if we can eliminate the run game, it's going to help us out in relations to if Mariota starts or even Jaden Daniels starts. They have their wide receiver. I forgot I think it's Samuels. I think that's his last name. He's really good as well. But our secondary, I feel really confident in our secondary. So none of the wide receivers that they have really intimidate me as a whole. They're but they do have some good running backs that we're gonna have to buckle down on the run game with.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Brian Robinson's been doing pretty good. And he's averaging about just under 5 yards a carry. He's already got 6 touchdowns already.
Yeah.
And the Achilles heel of the defense has been early game run defense.
That's what I'm saying. So this is the reason why somebody like a Zach Pickens is important.
Yeah, Zach Pickens is important. I think Andrew Billings, who's been having a great season, I think needs to get back to that big body run stuffer. Like that should be your priority this game. Just clogging up those holes. You don't worry about the pass rush. Let your edges, let Gervin Dexter handle that.
Yeah.
Just you got to understand the assignment tonight.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what. I mean, this we were talking earlier about like the trade deadline, right? There's I don't mean to just keep flip flopping, different topics, but I guess this would be an opportune time to talk about who do you think the Bears should look at getting, because there's a lot of teams that's it's about to be a fire sale if it hasn't already started. You know what I mean? So who do you see that the Bears could possibly poke and pull off a little trade with?
Well, it's who's realistic and who do I want. That's the real
well, do
story.
both. Do both. Hey, it's your party. We cry if you want to.
Yeah, honestly, and you have to look at what teams are kind of crashing and burning right now, and that's the Cleveland Browns, Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah. So you got to at least check in at the bare minimum and see who and what's available on those teams. The Giants too. You can also take a look at the defensive end.
Yeah, because you got Thibodeau and you got the other guy, but there's the other defensive end that he plays. He's pretty good, but he's not playing as much because of the other two defensive ends. I know what you're talking about.
It's like Ezi Orjolari, I think is his name. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing it. But he's had a good couple of games. He's had a good season so far. He's only started the 2 games, but he's picked up 3 sacks in those 2 games.
Yeah.
And like you said, their foundation of their pass rush is pretty much set with Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau. I mean, Thibodeau is hurt at the moment. I don't know if it's for the rest of the season or if he can come back.
Yeah.
So there's that. Another 2 guys, Zadarius Smith is a possible trade target as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wouldn't want him personally. He's just too old. There's old and there's too old. He's just a little too far.
Well, it depends on the price too.
Yeah.
If we're gonna have to give up like a 7th rounder or 6th rounder, I'll probably do that.
Yeah, Dexter Lawrence is another name, Blue, that people have been throwing around too. I don't know. I wouldn't see that one happening. It's a possibility, but
and then some people mentioned Myles Garrett.
That's my number 1 guy right there. Myles Garrett has been phenomenal as always this season.
I'll take Max Crosby, bro. I ain't like that. That's what I mean. If you put Max Crosby with the Bears, hang it up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if Max Crosby comes along the door, I'm not going to say like, I'm not going to throw it out of bed and eat in practice, but he's going to be really hard to get just because he is a focal player in the Raiders organization. He's only 27
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
and
He's
he's
got at
producing
least 4
double-digit
years.
sacks.
Yeah, he's got at least 4 or 5 years left in the tank.
Mm-hmm.
So
But very quickly while I'm still on the age thing, remember the Brian Burns trade? I mean, Brian Burns was a premier pass rusher,
yes,
and to the point where the Panthers turned down the Bears and including him in that original deal that got us DJ Moore.
mm-hmm.
And
I
that
remember
that would have gotten him the first round pick. Now they only gave him up for a second rounder.
Yeah, but
Montez
I
Sweat
think the
went up.
Panthers every day for DJ Moore.
Oh no, exactly. But my point is, we're seeing a market start to, or at least market value start to develop for these edge rushers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know there's a lot of people saying, well, Max Crosby or Myles Garrett's going to cost us 2 first-round picks, a second, a third, this, that, and the next thing.
Mm.
Maybe we're shooting a little too high. Right?
Yeah, I agree.
But
We
yeah,
could throw in a player or two. The Raiders need another running back. So hey,
Raiders need another running back. The Browns could always use interior defensive line help. There has been rumors floating around that Nate Davis and Dominique Robinson have been, getting a little bit of a love in terms of other GMs calling into the Bears, asking what their availability is. And if someone's going to offer you a pick for him, just take it. Just take it at this point. I mean, they're not doing anything.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
They're just kind of sucking up resources at the moment.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
So there's that. But, I have to say, Myles Garrett's definitely my top one. Where are we? He was, leading the NFL in pressures at one time. He still is 33. It puts him at 5th overall. But his pressure percentage is just shy of 20%. That's top in the league. And he's giving you a pressure about once every 5 snaps. So to put that guy on the other side of Montez Sweat gives game over.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what? I mean, I thought the Bears was going to, honestly, I thought the Bears was going to make a move during the bye week to try to get the player acclimated into the, but I think if we do something, it's going to have to be this, within this, trade deadline is coming up soon. So it's going to be sooner than later. And I guess depending on this week and like you mentioned before, I think last week, the next couple of weeks is going to depend on where each team wants to be in their journey. So if the Raiders lose out, or if the Giants are losing out and they're like, okay, we're just gonna take our ball and go home this year, you'll start seeing a lot of people drop.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you kind of already seen the Browns are leaning towards the fire sale. They traded Amari Cooper away. He's gone. There's a bunch of other trade targets that have been popping up throughout the Browns team, both on offense and defense.
Yeah.
So
and with that Deshaun Watson news, man, I think the Browns had already unpacked their bags and went home, man. I think it's like, okay, because honestly, it's gonna be real tough for you to win in that division because you got the Ravens and you got the Steelers, and they're both winning, and so it's pretty much a done deal for you this year.
Yeah, I mean, the Deshaun Watson trade has been terrible for the Browns. I understand the logic behind it, and there's other things. I think he's a scummy individual in terms of a human being, and doesn't deserve that contract.
Don't hold anything back.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat it on that. But he hasn't put it together on the field at all. Personal issues aside, it just hasn't been there. The Deshaun Watson that was in Houston is not the same person that's in Cleveland right now. Not even close. Yeah,
I mean, the city of Cleveland is a nice city. I've had an opportunity to go to Cleveland more than one occasion the last year. And I know they was excited about this team and all the stuff that comes with it. But, man, that dog pound they ain't barking right now.
No. And then you got to figure your team is doing so bad, you went out and picked up Bailey Zappi.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, they're hoping for the best. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I mean, you played all three quarterbacks last Sunday, or
yeah,
2 Sundays ago now, technically. So, and you're going to start Winston. I mean, it was been okay, maybe at best his entire career. So,
hey, it's unfortunate.
and I think that's why, like you were saying, you were hoping to get somebody during the bye week. I think that's why they're holding off. These teams haven't made the final decision if we're going to blow it up or we're just going to ride it out.
Right.
So,
Right.
I mean, probably one more game, then we'll
Yeah, I
have a
can see
better
that.
idea.
I can see that.
But man,
I'm excited. Well, I have to be
yeah,
honest with you. It is game week. I'm excited. I'm Will's heading to Washington on Saturday. I'm heading to Washington on Saturday, and we're gonna tailgate. We're gonna do everything, and we're gonna interact with some Bear fans, man, and we're gonna talk trash, and we're gonna win this football game.
yeah. I mean, you got them, man. We just got to come out. You got to. This is a statement game for the Chicago Bears. Because
Yeah.
up to this point, the Bears have been getting flack left and right. First,
Mhm.
Caleb Williams, he kind of stumbled out of the gate. Now he's finally getting it together, and the offense is starting to click. Now it's, you're only playing the Jaguars or the
Yeah.
Panthers.
Oh, you're only playing Tennessee, or you're
Yeah.
only playing. Yeah. Yeah. We only could play who's on our schedule now. I don't know if you saw this or not, but the Bears have the second half of our schedule has the hardest schedule in the NFL this year.
Mm-hmm.
But and a lot of it relates to how well everyone in the NFC North is playing too. You see what I mean? So
Yeah, no.
everybody's humming. Something's
Yeah,
got to give.
yeah. That's why I know Plank and a couple other guys in here are saying their Bears might stand pat. It's a possibility that could happen, but if you're looking to make even a playoff run, I'm not even thinking a Super Bowl run, a playoff run, you need to start stockpiling every weapon you can get your hands on just to
Yeah.
handle what the NFC North is going to throw at you over the next coming few weeks.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, they will.
Trust me, they've already doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Minnesota went out and got Cam Akers. There's rumors floating around. They're looking at Matt Stafford. Why? I don't really know. Sam Darnold's been fine up until this point.
Yeah.
But, they're looking to better their team. And we can't sit that. The whole reason why we got rid of Justin Fields and reset the rookie clock was so we can do things like this.
Mm-hmm.
Bring on these bigger names that you might not be able to afford with a quarterback that's coming up for big money.
Right.
And and I know some people have talked about, we only have $6 million in cap left on the year. But if we're going to go big game hunting and bag the big fish, you got to know Ryan Poles and the rest of the front office has a contingency plan in place financially to make it work. There's always room to make it work.
Oh, he's back. He's back there cooking. He's probably cooking as we speak,
Yeah. So you have, like 133 million in cap in 26, I think it is. So you can use some of that, move some money around, and we'll see what happens. I mean, if we come in on November 5th, I mean, the Montez Sweat trade happened on the 31st, right? I think that's
of
October. Possibly. I thought somebody posted up an Adam Schefter post earlier in the day and it was dated for the 31st. I thought that was a little strange, considering, but we're 1 year off the Montez Sweat trade. I don't see the Bears not making a move at this point. The team's doing too good right now. You're 4-2. You're in a tough division.
Mm-hmm.
More than likely going to be 5-2 at the end of this week.
Yes.
You got good receivers. All your receivers are healthy right now. Knock on wood. Your quarterback's healthy. Your offensive line is finally clicking.
Your running backs are healthy.
Mm-hmm. Your running backs are going good. It's going to be a scary game for Commanders fans to watch across the board because you got to.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely agree.
Because you got to deal with that defense that we have, and you got to deal with a new offense. This isn't the Bears' offense of last year, where we're just going to run the ball a little bit, maybe throw a pass every now and again. I understand that Caleb Williams' deep ball accuracy has been a little bit of a concern early on, and even last week he put a little too much air under that ball when he should just zipped it in. It happens. It's whatever. We watch guys like Josh Allen do it every week.
Yeah, Pat Mahomes did it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With Patrick threw what, 200? Did he even throw a touchdown last week or?
No, he didn't even throw a touchdown last week.
Okay.
And the reason why I know that because he was my fantasy quarterback.
Oh, yeah. I think I had like Hurts in, who did okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it is interesting. If you look at a guy like Patrick Mahomes, he's got 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, but the team is undefeated right now.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? So
I'll tell you what. Go ahead.
No. I was just like, it's it's a really interesting season so far.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I could have asked it to go any better. I mean, 5-2 out of the or 4-2 out of the first 6 with a rookie quarterback, with a new new defensive and offensive coordinator.
Right.
That's probably the best you could have gotten right there. I mean, because going undefeated honestly is a little unrealistic. But
And then, now that we think about it, I look back at those other 2 games that we lost. We should have beat Houston, man. I mean, I look at how Houston's played against Green Bay and a couple of the other teams, and I was like, oh my God, man, like we should have won that game.
yeah, I'm not entirely sure what happened in the Green Bay game. CJ Stroud was just terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have our games like that, of course, but it was just interesting considering all the hype that's been going into Houston from last year.
Yeah.
So that's something to look at.
So looking into the game that we got coming up against the Commanders, right? I need your score projection, and I want everybody to put it in the chat too. What do you think the final score of the Bears Commanders game is going to be? I want everybody to, see who's going to put their skills to use. Last week I think we had somebody that was kind of close in that London game, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah, I'm trying to remember who it was. I'd probably say 37-21, honestly, Bears.
That's pretty good. I'm gonna go with I like that. I like that. I'm gonna go with. I think the Bears are gonna put up 40 points. I'm gonna go 40-27.
All right. Yeah. So like fishing here, he's saying 31-17. Dennis Moody's 28-14. We got Ant Mass, big Bears win 30-15.
You see what Don Burr put on there.
Yeah, I saw Don Burr. What's going on, Don? Man, good to see you. 23-13 Bears. It's always a possibility, right?
40-7. I seen that too. Now, Plank, you didn't say who was going to win, so you got to let us know if 40-7 who.
It says Bears.
All right, we'll take it.
Kevo's got 34-17. Mikey's got 35-14. I understand this is a Bears podcast, but I think these predictions are pretty accurate in terms of. I think it's going to be something close like that.
40-27. That's what I'm predicting.
I mean, it could happen. Definitely could happen. And we should have broke 40 last week.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Caleb just wants to. He's at home. This means a lot to him. I understand that the Commanders are playing well, but he's not from there. Caleb is from the DC area, so he wants to put on a show for his family and friends.
Oh, of course, and that's one of the things. Bit off topic here, but that I kind of spoke on when Ryan Poles was building this team. He's going out and he's getting a lot of guys that are local Illinois guys, grew up here, either went to college here, or have some ties to the local community, and it's kind of understated, that whole way of building your roster, because you bring these guys in that have history right here. It's in their backyard. This is their home. They give a shit more. They play harder for you, and they break their backs for you.
Yeah.
Because they have, like you said, like Caleb has his family, his friends, his grade school teachers could be showing up to the game. There's a lot of eyes on him.
Yeah, definitely is. I see a lot more people in the chat. I mean, they got some interesting scores on there. Bears Media coming got 38-28 Bears.
I like Bruhaha. He says Whit Daniels is going to be 21-17, with Mariota 28-12. That's pretty good.
Hey, he's probably right about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it one bit. It could definitely be that close. It could be a runaway too. It really depends on if the Bears could pressure and consistently pressure whoever the quarterback is.
Exactly. If it's Daniels, we got to put a spy on him.
Well, I think you'll have Tremaine up there ready to go.
Yeah.
Maybe even Sanborn. I'd like to see Sanborn get out there a little more.
Yeah, he definitely play a lot. I like Jack Sanborn. He's a good linebacker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, receiving wise, you got to put Jalen Johnson on Scary Terry there and shut him down.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's really the only guy. If you think about it, I mean, he's got like 450 yards receiving for the team, and then you go all the way down to Zach Harris with like 260, and Austin Eckler. I mean, and Noah Brown, I think, is like the next highest receiver.
Yeah.
So I mean, they got Luke McCaffrey. I know that, but he hasn't really done a whole lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So, question: we did you did the score, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there any particular player in this game for the Chicago Bears that you think will have a breakout game or continuously their successful season?
Breakout game. Offense, defensive wise, I'd have to say that you're going to see another breakout game from Roma Dunze. I think this is going to be the catalyst of his season.
I like it.
This is the point where he's going to really take off.
Okay.
Defensive wise, I have to go with Montez Sweat. I think this is more of a revenge game for him than anything else. And unlike Andy Dalton in Carolina, we're actually going to see a revenge game.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I both players to me is the two players that I was going to select too. So Rome and Montez, because Montez Sweats, he's I know he's gotten the bag from Chicago, but he's like, look, hey, at one point in the time last year, I was leading both teams in sacks.
Mm-hmm.
So
exactly, he's been his sack number's been a little quiet. He's still got 2.5 though. But, got to get him a couple more. Let's get him at least 2 this week.
3 why not? If you add it, if you're feeling lucky.
That's true. I mean, a couple guys I want to see have real good games. I want to see Darrell Taylor step it up a bit. He's been pressure wise he's been okay, but I want to see him get those sack numbers up. It's been a little light since week 1.
Yeah.
Big Dex, I want him to see have a good game. Jalen Carter's starting to pick it up a little bit. He had a good couple games. I mean, Dexter still did too, don't get me wrong. But I want to see him like hit home and really put those numbers up.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting to see, man. I'm actually anxious to see who the Commanders are going to start at quarterback.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting.
Do you? Because see, they have a decision to make, and their decision is: do we get caught up in the hype and say, okay, he must play against Caleb? Or do you rest him because he's really hurt and we're going to save our future? Because if he plays in this game and get hurt and he should have sat out, that's going to be the detriment to a lot of people in the front office.
Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree. And I was talking to a few guys about this. I'd have to say if he's not 100%, don't play him. Don't risk it. I mean, yes, it's a big game. Don't get me wrong, and it's one of those battles that everybody wants to see. Everyone's going to tune into, and the NFL is going to make a lot of money. But at the same time, from the perspective of the Commanders front office, I don't want to see them mortgage their future over one game.
Right.
Because all it takes is one game. He can get seriously hurt. Either career is over or he's just not the same player.
I agree.
We saw that with RG3. They pushed him too hard, and his body just fell apart. So
you're right about that.
But yeah, a couple guys here. AMS saying Austin Booker 3 sacks. Mikey saying
I'll take it.
Half. Even Code Talker here. Sweat's been getting pressures, but not sacks. He have 100%. Now it's time to get both.
Yeah, I'll take it. I like you. I like your point, Code Talker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Squeegee's here, man. I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you in chat. And Bears Media Co. You're my boy. You know that. So I'm glad you're able to show up tonight. I'm actually glad everyone's here tonight. Across YouTube and X, we got about 100 people in. I'm glad to see that. It's been a work in progress with this channel. We're trying to do what's best for you guys, get you the best content that we can. I know Terry. We talked about the Bears pass rush a little bit and what to do. I'm letting everybody know that there is going to be a more in-depth pass rush video because there are a few things I wanted to talk about tonight, but didn't want to, give away everything. But we're going to look at a quarter-by-quarter basis of the Bears pass rush, and you're going to see a team that's ranked fairly high they're probably on middle of the road, like top 15 in terms of, you know, the pressures and all that and how they activate as a unit. But when you really break it down and look at it on a quarter by quarter basis, you can see some pretty big glaring inconsistencies with the team. And that's something that needs to be remedied moving forward. And, you know, we'll be going over that in the video in the next couple of days. So, you know, look for that, guys. What do you think, Terry? Anything else you want to talk about tonight?
No, I'm like I said, I'm definitely excited. I'm gonna try to get some footage for us too for the game, and you know, we could put that on our next podcast. But everybody tune in, you know, and hopefully whoever came the closest, because hopefully we could save these score projections. We'll go ahead and give you out a Monsters of the Gridiron shirt. I'm not wearing mine. Walt's not wearing his today either, but we have some really nice Monsters of the Gridiron shirts. We have it in orange and we have it in Chicago Bears blue. So.
Yeah, I think we have a couple other ones too. Actually, I'll have to look at the site. I think there's like 4 or 5 different options.
Yeah,
but I do have the list here, so I can pull from that. You know, we'll just keep a you know, a running tally going forward. But guys in the chat, do you have any questions or, you know, concerns that you want to you know, you divest to us, and maybe we can talk about it? Because this is your show as much as it is ours. So.
Yeah, and this will be the first time that I'm going to be covering the game on the Sports First Media, my new company, Walt, that you and I talked about.
Nice. So that's ready to go.
Yeah.
So where can they, like, where can we watch you do that?
Yeah, so you can go. I have an Instagram page, Sports First Media. That's all you got to do. I'll put it in the chat, and then I also have my YouTube channel, which I'm developing now. But you can go ahead and follow me and you know, subscribe, and I'll do the same if you have one as well. But I'm excited about it. I have some upcoming interviews, and I have some insight on, you know, by me being a broadcaster, that I'm going to be broadcasting a few of these games and getting some good insight on not just Chicago Bears football, but just football and sports in general too. So I'm gonna put it in the chat so people can go in, and I'll follow you back either on Instagram and Facebook and on and if you subscribe to my channel on YouTube, that would be perfect as well. And hey, let's make this thing grow, man.
Yeah, man. So, you know, I see Eric's asking a question here. He says, what do you think about the running back split and what it's going to look like? Do you want the Bears, Eric, or Bulls? Yeah, let's do the Bears right now. What do you think, Terry?
I think this is going to be a time where you see that we may see some of Khalil Herbert. I think this is going to be we're going to see all three running backs, but I think they're going to lean a little bit more on Roshan because he has young legs, he has fresh legs. You got to go out there and let him do what he needs to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good. Especially with the, you know, the trade deadline coming, you want to give teams a look at what they possibly could be getting with Khalil Herbert. You know, I definitely think the lion's share is going to go to DeAndre Swift, of course.
Of course.
Probably would have sprinkled a bit of Roshan Johnson. I'm going to differ a little bit with you on there. I honestly don't know if
Khalil
Herbert's going to get a lot of touches. I think if the run game is really going smooth, and, you know, Swift is clicking and Roshan's clicking, there's just no spot for him. And he'll probably stay on special teams, where he's been doing okay on.
Yeah, I think he likes that as well. You know, you get the return kicks occasionally. They're not going to really punt it to him because he's still a dangerous, you know, threat with the ball too. So,
Blue Dragon's asking, do you think we're finally going to see Tyler Scott? I mean,
or Baylor Jones.
Yeah, no, that's going to be interesting. I mean, Tyler Scott, we've kind of seen him on the bench, so at least there's that. But yeah, I know what you mean, Blue. I don't know what's going on with Tyler Scott. I think it's the wide receiver room is just too deep right now for him to actually make a contribution that, you know, we would like to see. Same thing with Velus Jones too, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, the running backs have really stepped up. So, like I said with Herbert, and if there's no spot for Herbert, is there really a spot for you know, an RB4? Not really. And then again, in the wide receiver room, you got to deal with DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Roma Dunze, and DeAndre Carter has been surprisingly good.
He has been. I thought he was a one-trick pony. I have to be honest with you, but he's proven to be able to catch the ball, because you remember when when Keenan Allen was out. He actually showed up a little bit, during those times. He was catching the passes that was thrown to him. So, hey, that's just another weapon that we have.
Will Diggs, I think you missed our score predictions. I know you're predicting a Commanders victory, but what do you think score-wise? Just want to hear from a Commanders fan, Humble us a little bit.
I guess we can.
Why not? We let Don Burr predict his score, so the door is open to everyone, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Squeegee's asking, do you think Ryan Poles is going to take another big edge contract? It's like we have picks and blue chip talent in the draft. You know what? I honestly think he will. In some way, he's going to pick up another edge rusher somewhere along the lines, whether it's, Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, or someone a little more down the line. That remains to be seen. But, the thing with the draft, though, is a lot of the guys that we talked about in the offseason coming in have kind of fallen flat. We talked about the two guys from Penn State. They've been okay. The one guy from Texas A&M, he's been fine, but he's more seems like an interior guy, like a DeMarcus Walker type player. Patrick Payton has been a nothing.
Now that's my guy too. That's my guy. That's my boy. That's my boy. He's a Florida State guy. I like him. I think he needs to. Turn it up a notch.
Yeah, he got 4 tackles last game. I don't think he got any sacks or anything like that, but he played all right. I mean, Florida State in general is just floundering.
Hey, watch it, Walt.
I can only tell you what I see, man.
No, you're right. We definitely are, and I think we'll get back on track sooner than later. Like, in order for us to Florida State to win go to a bowl game this year, we have to win every single game this year, and I just don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I would love for it to happen, but we play Miami this Saturday.
That's another good one. I'm really interested in the LSU Texas A&M game. I've been following Brady and Swinson a lot since the season started, and he's just been going off. He probably made himself one of the top edges in the class.
When you get a chance, look up my young protege. He plays for Texas A&M. His name is Bryce Anderson. He's number 1. He's the one that got that pick. He's got that pick 6 back in the swamp. Yeah. So I've been knowing Bryce quite some time. Me and his dad are real good friends too. But he's like a little nephew to me, honestly. But he's actually a heck of a player too. So number 1 for Texas A&M. So that's gonna be a good game.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't really watch a ton of college football just because I don't know. I can't get into it like I can an NFL game. Like, I can watch football all day, like at regular NFL professional level. College though, it's just something different to watch on TV. Ant Mess, like you're saying, the cap space is an issue, of course, but I think we've seen from not just the Bears but other teams around the league, there's always a way to make more space.
Always.
So if Ryan Poles wants to do it, and that's what he's got his heart set on, and the deal's right,
let him cook.
He'll make it happen.
Yeah. Someone mentioned something. They asked, how do we feel if, like, I guess they trade Velus Jones to the 49ers since they're all out of wide receivers.
This is Eric.
Velus, he kind of has that. He's like a Debo. He's like a gadget player, but Debo can catch the ball. That's the only big difference. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if something like that did happen though. The San Francisco 49ers need all the wide receivers they can get. They called Will, and he had to turn them down. You know what I mean? That's just how bad they need wide receivers.
Yeah, I mean the thing is they need good wide receivers. They have a couple. They got Ricky Pearsall coming back from the the injury there.
Shot.
Yeah. Shot, injury, whatever you want to call it. He's back. That's good. But they signed Brandon Ayuk, and unfortunately he's done.
Yes.
And whether he comes back the same after tearing both his ACL and MCL, I don't know.
Yeah, man.
It's going to be a long road for him to come back. And you may not even see him at the beginning of next year, so they got to be ready for that one.
And which leads me to this, though, Walt. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Bears rotate a few more wide receivers in there this year just to preserve their wide receivers. So you might see a Tyler Scott start to play a little bit more so that you won't have this issue that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are having right now.
Yeah, it's another one. Yeah, I think they might hang on to at least one or two of their receivers. I can't remember who's on the practice squad now. If we have any
The
receivers on.
Johnson, the 6'6"
Oh
guy.
yes,
That
Colin Johnson. I forgot about
yeah,
him.
I won't be surprised if somebody's picked him up though.
Mm.
But he's if he's healthy, he showed that he can play in the game.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. I completely didn't even cross my mind he was still there.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, but the thing with we're still on the 49ers is Brock Purdy really needs wide receivers that can help him.
Right.
I don't know if he's the guy that could lead you to victory by himself, like say Patrick Mahomes or even like a Lamar Jackson, those big quarterbacks that can really put the game on their back. I mean, I thought Brock Purdy's been fine, but he's more a product of the system and the players around him than being like the sun in the center of the universe. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But if the 49ers come a knocking and they say we want Velus Jones, have at you.
Give us a 5th rounder and we'll see you later.
Yeah, and I really feel like Velus has a spot somewhere on some team. I am a fan of his. He seems like a really intelligent guy. It's just it hasn't worked out.
Yeah.
For a multitude of reasons. So if a team is willing to give you a pick, even if it's 4th, 5th, 6th,
I'll take it.
You can take it, and you saw what we turned a 6th-round pick into with Darrell Taylor. So you never know. All right. So there's that. Let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, like he says, you don't win because of Brock Purdy. That's right.
Yeah.
I think Bruha's asking if the Washington has enough on defense to cover all the Bears pass catchers at once.
They don't.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what they're doing right now.
And then you got to throw the tight ends too, because Cole Kmet is balling.
Yeah, no, Cole Kmet has definitely stepped up.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Dante Fowler.
Not bad.
Who's the other D-back? Mike, that was his name, Mike something or other. Those guys are going. You got Bobby Wagner, who's still good, but I don't know if they have the secondary that can handle 3 elite pass catchers.
And a tight end.
Yeah, and a tight end. So
and a running back that catches out the backfield pretty well.
That's true. So you got 5 guys minimum that could catch the ball.
And that's not even talking about the burgers. 5 guys.
And then when you think about it, you can take Kmet out, you can put Gerald Everett in there. I know he hasn't been used a whole ton, but he can still catch the ball too.
Yeah, he definitely can.
So I think the thing is just you're gonna have to wear out the secondary of the Commanders early and often. Whether it's trying to break some big runs and get into their, the extreme backfield and make it work, or just, coming over the top. So I'm
just excited, Walt. I'm excited, man.
Yeah. So you said you're heading out Saturday, right?
Yeah, I'm headed out Saturday. I'm gonna go vote tomorrow, get that out the way, and I'm gonna head out Saturday.
Yeah, I gotta do that too. We got because we're not gonna be here for election day. We're heading back home.
Okay.
So I'll keep you guys posted on our show for that week because I'll be gone. I'll be leaving here on the 31st for a wedding, and we'll be back. I think actually after the trade deadline.
Wow.
Let me have a look. Yeah, we're going for a little while. We haven't been home in a while. Yeah, so I think probably maybe coming home the 9th. So yeah, I won't be here for the normal show on the 4th or the 6th, whatever we decide to do. So I can set one up for you guys if you want to do it. And it's pretty much just hit a button.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. So I can get that all squared away. So guys, just, hit the notification bell just so you get an idea of when we're coming forward with another, episode here and all that. But I will be posting on, my X, CB Sickles. Also, the Monsters of the Gridiron X page will be reposting that as well. So look for information on that. Terry, like you said, just give me the address to your.
I put it in. I put it in the chat.
Okay, yeah, because I'll end up putting it in the description too after we're done here. And so if you're watching ahead of time or you come back in, it'll be there. You can check it out that way too.
All right, and
So,
thanks, Plank. Thanks for the safe travels wishes too. So
yeah. Yeah, Plank, I gotta talk to you some more, man. I've been kind of quiet on mine. I apologize, but we gotta talk some ball soon.
Oh yeah.
All
All right,
yeah.
fellas, bear down. Put them claws up, Walt.
Yeah, bear down, guys. It's been fun. Enjoy your night, guys. Terry, always fun talking to you guys. Next week, we'll see you later.
Appreciate it.